fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya and Fuyumi Todoroki. Now, these two no longer have to hide their relationship from Endeavor and Shoto. Now, Todoroki, he is still understandably pissed off. Especially because the guy Fuyumi is dating is a classmate he hates. Now, with that being said, in the last part, Endeavor did meet Midoriya, and basically tell him that he needs to break up with his daughter because he's no good for her. Now, Midoriya did tell Endeavor that he would not, and that he would fight for her. Now, Endeavor didn't expect it to happen, but Midoriya, he actually did beat Todoroki, win the sports festival, and slightly impress him. Now, with that being said, along with that, in the fight with Todoroki, he did receive some ice burns whenever he was blasted in the back. Now, with that being said, he did then wake up in the infirmary and get informed that he won, as we will pick up there. But Midoriya, he does actually smile and look at Fuyumi, asking exactly how did the last match go. Well, after you passed out, not really a lot happened. In fact, heroes had to kind of rush in. You two were a bit intense. Really? Yeah. I know. Midoriya would say. Him going to sit up and feel the massive amount of pain in his back, along with seeing an IV in his arm. Him asking Fuyumi what happened, to which she would explain that recovery girl she did look at his injuries. And sadly, his entire back is covered with ice burns, along with her pointing out as she does bring up her own arm that these parts of his bicep, basically the top portion, and the top portion on his right arm, along with the area slightly above his shirt line, on his neck. Now, Midoriya would just say that that does kinda suck. To which she kinda does inform him that it really does. She didn't expect Todoroki to try that hard. And, well, neither for him. Midoriya kinda just laughing, and saying that he did kind of have some motivation. To which she would just look at him, asking exactly why. To which the door would then be knocked on, as Fuyumi would get up and go to answer it. Now, there you do actually have Endeavor, who, he does just begin to try to walk in, talking about how he does want to speak to the young man. Now, Midoriya actually would try to get up, and he does feel his body be very sore and painful as he does move. Now, Midoriya would go to get up, and he actually would grab he would grab the thing the IV drip is connected to, and Endeavor would watch as Midoriya would stand, as he does then look at Midoriya. Your quirk is very impressive. Now, those words alone do catch Fuyumi off guard, her just staring at her dad for a second and wondering if he actually just gave her boyfriend a compliment. But, oh, there it is. You still have a long way to go. Your quirk is dangerous and mastering it is a long, long step away. Especially for you. You must dedicate your life to everything like that. And that is why... Now, this would be where Fumi does actually just catch him off and will cut him off and say that he is not doing that. Now, she does directly step in front of her father and begin to yell that she loves Midoriya and that he can't stop her. Endeavor looking down, and he does have a look of disapproval, telling her that she is on the wrong path as well. I told you I don't want to be a pro. Yes, I know, and that's what makes you even more disappointing. Now, Midoriya would hear that and tell Endeavor just to shut up and to not speak to her like that. Now, Endeavor would go on stating that he does not have to speak to anyone like anything. He is the number 2 hero, and she is his daughter. He can speak to her however he does like. Now, Fumi does go to tell him that no, he can't. As she does go on stating that this is why Mom went ballistic. And why? Her then saying Toya. Now, the moment she does say that, Endeavor does go to bring up his hand. And Midoriya does go lunging forwards. Now, as it does actually happen, we do have in another room, where Todoroki, he was laying down, and then begin to hear the commotion, as he does hear Fumi. Her beginning to say things, and then hearing the part about Mom, and hearing Toya, as he does just rip the IV out of his arm and scramble onto his feet, him running over and just smashing straight through the door, as he would turn. Now, this is whenever the door he does turn to look at, he does actually see flames rise up. And he does go to run over. Now, as he does do that, Endeavor goes flying out of the room. And he does smash into the wall, as he just begins to start being burrowed deeper into it as the wall does crack. As Todoroki would turn his head and look inside. As you do see Midoriya, who he is holding Fumi close to his body with his left arm, as she is crying. And Midoriya, he does just have a look in his eyes. A look Todoroki has not seen. At least not on another person besides his father. As he does watch Midoriya. As he does just, let go of Fumi. And begin to step forwards. As he would get directly in front of Endeavor. So, you really think that was a good idea? Laying your hand on her? Don't ever do that again, Endeavor. Now, Todoroki, he would turn and walk into the room, asking Fumi if she is okay, since she does have a bruise on her face. Now, this is whenever he actually would turn around and go to step forwards. As he does just tell Endeavor what did he do. Now, Endeavor does just say that he is an insolent child, and that this is no way for him to be treated. As Midoriya would just bring his hands up and ball them into fist, as he does push Endeavor deeper into the wall, until he does fly through it. Now, Midoriya would then put Endeavor into a box, as Endeavor does begin to start having his flames rise up, and Midoriya does begin to start shrinking it more and more, asking Endeavor if the pressure is getting to him yet. Now, Todoroki would watch this, as Midoriya, he's closing his hands in a fist, And we do have Fuyumi, who does just walk up and tell Midoriya to stop as she does grab his arm. Now, you do actually have Todoroki, who is watching Midoriya, who has not blinked, as he's still slowly bringing his hands together and forming, well, fist. Now, Endeavor, he is fighting back against this. However, he is beginning to struggle massively, as he's basically having a skyscraper thrown down on top of him. And the weight is immense, along with the pressure he does feel. Now, Fuyumi is finally pulling at Midoriya's arm, telling him to stop it. Now, Midoriya, he does snap back to reality, as Fuyumi is shaking his arm. Midoriya turning his head and looking directly at her, as she has tears in her eyes, and she's begging Midoriya not to hurt her father. As Midoriya, he does just look at her confused, before he does just let go of his quirk. In Endeavor, he does fall backwards, as he's trying to gain his bearing. Midoriya asking her why is she defending him, since he just did that. Her saying that she doesn't, well, care about that, and that he's going to hurt somebody. Now, Todoroki would just tell Fuyumi that Midoriya was justified, and that he does hate to agree. Now, she would just turn her head and look at Todoroki, telling her that he doesn't have a say in this. As Midoriya, he does just turn and run. Now, Fuyumi, she does try to call out for Midoriya, telling him to simply stop for a second. Now, with that, we do actually have All Might, who he is walking down the hall, as we do have Midoriya who does run directly in front of him, and he doesn't even stop. As All Might, he would watch Midoriya run by with bandages covering his body. And you do actually then have Fuyumi, who is trying to keep up with him, and she does have to stop and take a breath for a second, turning and seeing All Might, asking if he knows exactly where Izuku went. Him just bringing up his finger and pointing down the hallway directly straight, as she has just say that he's pretty fast. Well, the young man did train, didn't he? Yeah, he did. But even then, I don't think he's using his quirk. Impressive cardio. You're telling me. Now, All Might does try to ask her what happened, to which she really doesn't want to go into detail, trying to explain it was sort of a family matter. Now, All Might does see the bruise on her face, and ask if Midoriya did that. What? No, he didn't. He wouldn't. It was an argument between my father and him. I tried to get in the way and... Ah, I see. Well, perhaps I should get involved. No, please do not do that. You'll just complicate the matter. Now, All Might would try to explain to Fuyumi about how he can't do that. As a pro hero, it is his duty to get involved and protect people, no matter who it is, or who it's from. Now, we actually do cut to Midoriya, as he did get out of the stadium and fly up into the air, since he did want to be alone for a bit of time. Now, this is quite strange, as Midoriya, he does just stay there, floating in the air, and wonder for a minute. Shit. I fucked up. She's gonna hate me. No. Damn it. Now, Midoriya, he's trying to think about this. She's not going to want to talk to him anymore. She's going to dump him. He just messed up something good. And he can't even be mad. Especially since he just almost murdered her dad. Or almost hurt him a lot. Now, Midoriya, he does just fly home. As we do have Fumi, who has been trying to call him. And she did actually call Inko. Now, Midoriya, he would arrive home. Inko actually watching as Midoriya still does have bandages on him and his sports festival clothes. Her trying to ask him how it all went. However, he does just fly in as he does open his door using his quirk. As he would then close it behind him and then lock it. Now, Inko was confused. As about 10 minutes later, her phone rang with Fumi's number. And Fumi would have asked if Izuku is there. Now, Inko, she is surprised, asking if something happened. To which she would try to explain that he got into an argument with her dad, and the two kind of came to blows. Now, Inko, she does just say that she's very sorry about that. To which Fumi does try to explain that it's not how she does think. In fact, well, she kind of stepped in between them. And Midoriya, he lost it after her not really saying the next few words, to which Inko would fill in the gap. Now, Fumi does try to explain that she doesn't blame Midoriya. In fact, she, well, just wanted him to not stop that. Or, well, not. She wanted him to quit doing that and try to talk to her dad. Sure, the man isn't a very, well, wordsy person, but he could have gotten his point across there. Her dad does see strength. However, he also does see somebody by their character. And he thinks Midoriya is just some brute. He thinks that he's just some guy who is going to mess it up and hurt his daughter. Now, Inko, she does try to explain her reasoning behind it. As eventually she does go up to the door and knock on it, telling Izuku that she has Fumi on the phone. Midoriya just telling her to get out of here or to stay away from him. To which Inko would explain that she can't. And that Fumi is very worried. About me? Yes. Now open the door. Now, Midoriya would walk over and open it. As Inko would look up at her son. He's gotten so tall over these last few years. And it's been surprising. Asking him if he's okay. Yeah, I just lost it. I don't know. It's just... How could he do that? Especially to his... I lost control of my temper. Izuku, that does happen. Especially with a girlfriend's parent. Now, her then handing over the phone, telling Midoriya to talk to her. And the two can at least try and understand what happened. Now, Midoriya and Fumi would begin a chat, as the two do end up laughing about the situation. Fumi explaining that she's kind of glad that he did do that, and that she's kind of surprised that him and Todoroki did start to agree on something at least. Now, Midoriya is confused, asking what she does mean. To which she would try to explain. And Midoriya's blind rage whenever she was trying to get him to stop Todoroki called him justified, and trying to get Fumi to walk away from the situation. Now, Midoriya kind of does laugh at that, and he does at least try to think, what's he gonna do now? As he does ask Fumi if the two should, well, I don't know, you know, meet up in person again, try and repair the situation. Now, Fumi does kind of just say, yes, that would work. And she just talk about how a family dinner might be the best way to solve it. Now, Midoriya hearing those words, that sounds bad. Midoriya just asking her if that's a good idea. To which she would just say yes. And she does actually have a few things she does want to do. As she would then hang up the phone. And Midoriya, he's just left there speechless for a second. As we do have Fumi, who she does at least have a bit more of a smile on her face before she does just suddenly drop it. And she just drop her phone onto her bed, thinking for 1 second, why did she suggest that? That was stupid! And she just somewhat scream at herself. Now, you do have Todoroki, who he would knock on her door and ask her if she's okay. To which she would let him in. And the two, they would start talking. Fumi telling him to go see their mother. And Todoroki would say that Midoriya, he is somewhat of a good guy. As he would leave. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.